I'm Gideon Mahenka, and you are welcome to 15 Minutes in WACSI. This program is what we use to tell the people out there what exactly is happening in the civil society ecosystem in Africa and beyond. On this episode, we'll be asking you a few questions, and just so our viewers are aware, this version of 15 Minutes in WACSI is brought to you on the sidelines of the Giving for Change annual partner learning and reflection meeting. So let me come to you, my guest, your full name and the organization that you represent.
Okay, my name is Stigmata Tenga, and I'm working with the African Philanthropy Network as an executive director.
Oh, interesting. So I want you to tell us, what triggered the initiation of the Giving for Change program?
Wow, if it was initiation, but I think for us it's a continuity of things that we are doing.
Okay.
We have always been working as a network to see to it that the resources that are in the continent are geared to address gender equality and social justice. And then when the possibility to get resources from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Dutch came by,
Exactly.
we partnered with our members and other different colleagues to see to it that we are able to use that basket of funding as another container for us to bring about conversations. Because you know, these issues in the continent are very much systematic and complex, and you really need to use different vehicles and different opportunities to bring about change we wanted to see.
Interesting. Yeah. So 18 months on into the implementation of the program,
Yes.
what have been the milestones so far for African Philanthropy Network?
Oh yeah, so the program focuses on three main areas. One is unlocking the potential for different groups of people in different forms of African philanthropy to work together at the community level through the communities of practice. But another one is around bringing conversations at the national level to influence government department and influence donors at the national level to recognize the value that philanthropy and especially African ways of giving would bring to the development. And that is the area we're working with. So what we see is already the governments where the program is focusing on are becoming aware, they're becoming interested to even listen more. Okay. From the civil society, something which was somewhat fading away. We have been experiencing shrinking spaces in most of the national states. But now we are seeing governments wanting to listen more, wanting to hear more. What is this that we're talking about? How can we really make domestic resource contribute to the development? And again, what we see as a milestone is also donors have been very, very eager to listen to what we are doing. Because one of the areas where we are pegging our conversation on and the work that APN is doing is providing the space where African institutions interrogate into the way that resources are being mobilized, resources are being distributed and how they're spent. And what is the power, how does the power play within those distributions and spending? And that really is another area which have brought a lot of interest.
What have been the milestones so far for African Philanthropic Network?
Okay, so I think I would like to start by saying the program is looking to unlock the potential and to address systemic issues. And much as we are very optimistic and we are already counting some of the successes, but we are also very conscious that it cannot take overnight to really change the systems. It cannot take overnight to bring everyone along. But what we are seeing is already there is an appetite for government and different government authorities, including the registrar of NGOs, for example, in different countries, wanting to hear more about how can we work together to unlock resources through the community of philanthropy to support the development. But on the other side, we are seeing donors becoming very much interested because we talk about shift the power and change the way development is done. And that is bringing a different kind of, anxiety to different donors and international NGOs. Some of them are becoming skeptical, scared. When we say shift the power, what does it really mean? We need to replace their presence or not? But on the other side, some of them are becoming now interested to hear more, and we see a number of them wanting to learn more about, how can they shift the power? What is it that we would like them to do differently for them to be true partners in development? But on the other side, what I really see as a milestone at the African Philanthropy Network is the fact that we are able now to bring conversations from the three main different geographies and languages, because part of the partners for Giving for Change are coming from Mozambique, where they speak Portuguese. Some of them are coming from Burkina Faso, where they speak French, but also some of them are coming from English speakers. And in addition to that, we have partners who are coming from Palestine and Brazil. That brings South-to-South solidarity. That by itself helps to create narrative and to compare narrative and to build a solidarity movement towards Giving for Change. Again, what we are seeing at APN, it's really now starting to realize the vision that we are having of really having philanthropy addressing gender and inequality and addressing social injustices, because already we are working on those issues which are perpetuating inequalities and injustices. On the other side, we have a mission to reclaim the power in various forms of philanthropic giving in the continent. And on the other side, we have said everyone in the continent gives. So we really need to elevate the various forms of giving. So we are seeing that coming out. The narratives around how people give, what people give, trends and values and the nature of giving is mushrooming. Alongside with that, we are seeing an increasing number of established organizations that are promoting philanthropy, individual and community philanthropy, from the academic institutions in South Africa like Center for Philanthropy and Social Investment, to all the grant makers, the West Africa Civil Society Institute, Kenya Community Development Foundation, Global Fund for Community Foundations, many other, just to mention a few, coming from different themes as well. So you see conversations around how can we address inequality in the continent. Yes, but we were very much supported by COVID-19 as well, because COVID-19 came and it had really make visible the fact that philanthropy in the continent is not starting today. It has always been there, because everyone else, including foreigners and development actors, boarded their flight and they went home. They left communities to respond to their own, exactly, COVID troubles. So there you see all these community practices, assets, intellect, different people coming to support each other. They support even beyond their own community. So really, we see now mushrooming and realization of the fact that what we are talking about, what we are promoting, which is giving to ensure there is change. Giving that has been taking place in the continent has been rampant, but it was unstructured. It was not really deliberate to bring about change. So now we are seeing how the giving that is taking place in the continent brings about change.
Interesting perspective. But let me ask this. You talk about giving. In most African countries, do you think Africans have this tendency of giving? And how is this program actually weaving into the community? Are they buying into it? And do you see them having a tendency of giving?
Oh, really, giving is part of the African DNA. It has been there ever since. And it is very much rooted into the way Africans are doing their stuff. Only that it was never made that much visible because it's a way of doing things. So if I yield more yams and share it with you, we thought it is our way of living, because our giving was rooted very much on the values of solidarity and trust. But it has always been there. Giving has continued to support responses to poverty issues, to food insecurity. It supported the livelihood of people who did not have it, from those who at least have it. But it has also supported social cohesion, building of social cohesion in our continent, in our societies. So it has been there, as I've said previously, but it has never been structured. So now what we are working on is to bring back that culture of giving, but make it more impactful. Give it more impactful, give it to ensure that whatever you are giving, it will bring about a certain change. It will shift the life and livelihood of a certain person or family from one place to the other. It will provide needs. Yeah.
So let me ask you this. You know, this program started about 18 months ago, and I know that, of course, there have been milestones. Obviously, there will be some challenges. I want you to touch on a few of the challenges that African Philanthropy Network has actually encountered over the past 18 months of implementation.
Okay, so it's very interesting to talk about challenges, and really it is very also interesting to think and believe that there would be challenges to deal with such issues. The only thing, the challenge that I'm seeing sitting as a lead person at the African Philanthropy Network is how best can we bring more voices to the table. You understand that bringing more voices to the table requires a deliberate approach. But on the other side, it has been really one celebration after the other. Because all of us, as families, all the organizations that are working towards this program are looking into how best they can use the resources they have, they can use the traditions and practices they have to bring different voices on the table, and we see many voices on the table. I think the challenge that we might anticipate is how to sustain that, because we are talking about a program, and the program is 5 years, but you know, if you want to deal with systemic issues, you need longer, you know, period of time than 5 years. So we are very conscious that this program is a container, it's a vehicle. And if you go through a vehicle, you might reach somewhere and you have to drop. So we are very conscious of, you know, looking to ways that we can ensure there is more resilience among us who are participating in this program as actors, but there is a sustainability of what we are doing. But because it's rooted in our way of work, it is part and parcel of our institutional mandates. We believe that we'll be able to sustain it.
Okay, so you've engaged in these discussions for some time now. What would be your tips that you'll give to CSOs that are watching 15 Minutes of WACSI, especially this particular interview with you? What would you tell CSOs out there about how they can drive giving for social good in their communities?
Oh, thank you. First of all, I need to say I feel so honored to have a chance to have this conversation with WACSI, because then I believe my message will reach out to as many organizations as possible. But one thing that I would like to tell everyone, all civil society organizations, we are strong together. We really need to cherish collaboration, work together, learn from each other, share the resources we have. That is the only way we will be strengthened. That is the only way we are able to have more power and exercise our power to achieve the change we want to achieve. And importantly is get out of the silos. We are working in the silos, and this is deliberately done by the development practices. Get out of the silos. Look for a partner. Broaden your social networks.
Interesting perspectives from Stigmata Tenga, the Executive Director of African Philanthropic Network. She talked about collaboration between CSOs, all civil society organization bodies and individuals to drive giving for social change, of course, in their various communities. This is 15 Minutes in WACSI, and of course, we brought you this particular episode all the way from Alisa Hotels in Accra here. where we are currently having the annual partner learn and reflection meeting for the Giving for Change program. Thank you very much, and we have more episodes coming up. Do watch us. Thank you.
Thank you.